Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony, and I am going to be playing Super Mario World, and I'm going to be playing Super Mario World and chatting. So, hopefully you can hear me okay over the fan. In yesterday's video, if you watched it, which it was very, very long, so I do apologize for that. If you didn't watch it, I kind of get why it was super long. But it, yeah, I think I'll do this later. It was a video about the full story of the marriage to my husband. But I realized that because it was an hour and a half long, so it took me a long time to get to that. I decided that since me and my sister only had time to do 3 videos because they ended up being so long, I would record on my own and talk about some stuff that I kind of missed in the one with me and my ex-husband. So today I'm actually going to talk about mine and his relationship with my in-laws. Because I feel like there's a lot to get into with my ex-husband and some of the things that kind of went on. So anyway, when I met him, his mother and father were both still alive, and then he had his sister Sandy, his sister Brenda, his brother Chuck, and he had another sister, but I was not aware of her yet at this point. His sister Brenda and I got along best out of everyone, although I really like Chuck as well. And I didn't have anything against Sandy. Sandy's just like my mother's age. And she has kids that are like my sister's ages and my age. So Sandy and I really didn't have a whole ton in common, but Sandy was very nice. She actually passed away last year. But she was a very nice woman. And I don't have anything against her. I just, no, we're going to do the Star Wars. Because I'm doing terrible. Anyway, my mother-in-law was amazing. Literally, when Bob and I bought the trailer that we bought when Salem was not firstborn, but 9 months old, it was you could see my mother-in-law's trailer from our trailer, and oh my goodness, that woman, she's amazing. I was so sad when she died. But she used to just call me and just chat on the phone to me all day long. She told me so much family gossip that I don't even think her kids know that I know, because she just was so chatty. And so I learned all of the family gossip from her, and got to find everything out. And then of course when Salem was born, she was overjoyed to have, which she always treated Matthew good too. She always told me that Matthew was her favorite name, but my father-in-law wouldn't let her name one of the kids Matthew, so she never got to. But she never treated him differently. She was always nice as can be to him, and she was very nice to me. I remember when Salem was a baby, he learned how to walk at 9 months old. But my mother-in-law didn't know that he had learned how to walk yet. And every single time we came to our house, I was always holding Salem when we first walked in, because he was tiny. This kid was tiny. And so, I always had him in my arms. And my mother-in-law would give me so much shit for it and tell me that he was never going to learn to walk if I didn't set him down once in a while. And of course she had no idea that he was already walking. So I walked in the door and she said that to me, and I dropped him down and I said, "Why don't you go see Grammy?" And he toddled his cute little butt over to my mother-in-law, and she, oh my gosh, so excited and screaming. But yeah, that was one of my fondest memories. And at the time, I was working. One of the few times that I had a job for a little while before my ex-husband made me quit. I remember my mother-in-law, like my ex-husband would bring Salem over to, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Over to my mother-in-law's house when I was at work, you know, just like to hang out or whatever. And the night before she died, they had been hanging out all day, banging pots and pans together. And I'm very, very glad that they got, I mean, granted, Salem doesn't remember her because he wasn't even a year old yet when she died, but still. Anyway, I've just spent far too long talking about my mother-in-law just because she was the best. But after my mother-in-law died, there was a falling out with the family. It was about money, as things usually are. My ex-husband got very mad at one of his sisters and thought, oh, and also when my mother-in-law died, that's when I found out that my husband had another sister as well, named Linda. But I'm very much not as close with her. I mean, you know, she's a nice enough woman. And, you know, we've been to her house a few times, but it's nothing like my relationship with my other in-laws. Like, I was a lot closer with, I mean, not like, we didn't, like, hang out every day, but, so, I mean, we hung out a lot for a while there. Anyway, it's not the point. And I'm sorry that I'm just horribly dying every 5 seconds in every single level here. That's just how it's going to be, apparently. But, there was, like, a little bit of a falling out, and, like, the family was kind of divided. The siblings were, like, mad at each other, and I don't know, it was a big to-do. And then there was some drama when him and I got married as well, and my in-laws, basically, we only spoke to my sister-in-law Brenda and my brother-in-law Chuck for quite a while, and it kind of bums me out that all this happened, not only because, you know, I couldn't imagine not speaking to my own family, but also, I got along really well with a lot of my husband's nephews and nieces as well. And so it was actually really, like, sad for me to, you know, not have them around or whatever. And it kind of bummed me out. Oh, shit. It kind of bummed me out, you know. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. And, but then, this probably lasted, I'm going to say, 3 or 4 years. And then, out of the blue one day, my husband's niece sent me a message basically saying, you know, sorry for anything that, you know, anything that she may have had anything to do with, basically, and that she wanted us to be, you know, she wanted our family to not be divided, basically. And so after that, everybody kind of, you know, got back together, and that was that. We were all friendly again after that. And I'm really glad that she reached out because it was her mother who was the one that passed away several years later. And I really think that my ex-husband would have regretted it forever if he would have never mended his relationship with his sister. But now that we are divorced, when I see my sister-in-law, Brenda, obviously, you know, she stops and says hello to the kids. But, like, she doesn't call me. I mean, she didn't call me that often anymore anyway because we hadn't really, you know, we've just been busy with our own stuff. But the thing is, when my husband first started doing drugs, I told my sister-in-law, and his dad knew, and it wasn't until his sister's passing that his brother found out. His brother took one look at him because his brother moved away. He moved to Colorado. So he took one look at him and he knew that something was going on, you know, like just one look at my husband and it was her ex-husband now. And it was pretty clear that something was happening. Like there was no doubt, basically. And so my brother-in-law pulled me aside and asked me what was going on. And I told him, you know, shortened version of what was happening. And it was devastating for him because that's his baby brother, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't speak to much of my husband's family, ex-husband's family anymore. I don't know how much of them talk to him, because the problem is he's not exactly truthful. Like, I feel like some of them, since our split, have kind of taken his side, and like he never really gave them the opportunity to know me well enough for them to know if I'm telling the truth or if he's telling the truth. Like, my sister-in-law, I think, knows that I'm telling the truth, like the one that knows me, well, obviously, you know, my sister-in-law that I speak to. I think that she knows. I know for a fact that his niece knows that I'm not lying, because she's seen him. She knows, you know, she knows the people that have been doing these kinds of things with him and just whatever. Anyway, the point is, a lot of the family never really got the opportunity to know me well enough to know. So if he goes to them and he tells them that, you know, I lied and threw him out, whoopsie, so that I could run away with some new guy, you know, all they know, that's true. They have no idea. They don't know me. So I'm gonna guess that the bulk of his family doesn't really care, and it's sad, and because this is my children's family. Like, my kids don't even know half of their cousins, because, and I mean, a lot of them live in the same town as them, and yet my kids don't know them because they were never really given the opportunity. And it's not necessarily my in-laws' fault, because, you know, the phone goes both ways, but my husband didn't really, ex-husband, didn't really make an effort to involve my kids into his family. And my father-in-law's still around, but I don't know if he, I mean, I'm not sure if he even has asked anything about the kids. I don't know what my ex-husband has been telling him is going on. Like, I genuinely don't know anything about, like, that situation. I just know that, Lucas and his father did call his uncle last weekend, or was it last weekend? It was either last weekend or the weekend before, and he talked to him briefly, but...
The weekend before.
What, sweetie?
It was the weekend before.
It was the weekend before? What about your grandpa? Did your dad say anything to you about your grandpa?
Called him.
Oh, he did call him? Did you get to talk to him?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Guess that tells you that. So, but that, and I mean, that has nothing to do with our divorce even. Like, this whole, like, distance from his family has been something. My husband has always said that he's the black sheep and his family pushes him aside and yada, yada, yada. In my experience, that's not actually true. Like, his family makes it very clear that they care about him, but he just has never really made an effort, and he's always done the whole, oh, everything is everybody else's fault, poor me thing. And there's only so much that his family, like, even when my sister-in-law was dying, he tried to make it all about him. And it was honestly really exhausting for his siblings and for his nieces and nephews, because they were losing their mother or their aunt or their sister, or, you know, I mean, it was a lot for them. So I can kind of understand the distance. I don't fully understand it, because my sisters and I have never been that way. But I can understand why it was hard for them, because when you have a sibling that acts like that, it's hard. So I don't know. I do not know what any of their opinions are on me at this point, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care that much. As mean as that might sound, I don't really care what their opinions are on me. Like, if you like me, great. If you hate me, great. you know, like I don't really know what else to say beyond that. But when we first got together, it was like we would go to Thanksgiving with his family instead of my family. Like we would stop, you know, and stop at my family's and, you know, have like pie or something. But there was several years where my family didn't really do a big Thanksgiving anymore because between my ex-husband wanting everything to be with his family and my one sister doing everything with her boyfriend and my other sister doing everything with my brother-in-law, and I mean it just no. Would you do me a favor though and put this by the sink? Between you know, like between everybody doing their own thing, we would have Thanksgiving with my sister-in-law, and it was amazing. Like we had so much fun. It was great. And we would always be at my mother-in-law's. We would always go to my sister-in-law Sandy's house and hang out. We'd play cards and just, I mean, we were with my husband's family a lot. Like his one nephew was practically a permanent fixture in our house for a while there. I mean, it just, and then once my mother-in-law was gone, it was like everything just went to shit. I don't know. Really awful. And it makes me really, really, really sad that happened, because it just sucks for my ex-husband, it sucks for his siblings, it sucks for my kids, because they didn't get that super close relationship with my ex-husband's family that I feel like they should have had. Like even my ex-husband's nephew's wife is a teacher at the school that my child goes to, and you would never know that they were like technically related. Like I'm not sure if she's ever even so much as said hello to my child or asked him how he's doing or anything. And I mean that's fine, you know, maybe she's just trying to remain professional because, you know, they're at school together, or I don't know, maybe she just doesn't really know what to say to him, or, but it's just, it's strange to me because that's, you know, it's your family. I mean, maybe it's different for her. I know some people don't really consider their, like, in-laws, like, as their family, so maybe she doesn't really consider my kids her family because it's just, like, her husband's cousin. But, like, to me, like, my cousin's husband or wife, or my husband, you know, like, that's, well, I mean, I guess maybe not, because I wouldn't call, like, my husband has this one cousin who has the same name as me. I would never call him my cousin. He's not my cousin. He's my husband's cousin. But maybe that's a different situation. Anyway, I keep dying, so I'm going to end this here, and then in the tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the relationship that my husband, ex-husband, had with my family. I can't speak for my ex-husband's family, so I don't know how they feel about me. They may hate me, they may like me, they may be indifferent. I don't know. I don't have any beef with any of them. They're all perfectly fine with me. I think my in-laws are great. Or ex-in-laws, I guess. My kids' family. So, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, right? Yeah, that's probably it. Thanks for watching. Bye.